Shalom, shalom, it's your brother Amaran Makar back with another lesson. Starting off by giving all praises, honor and glory to Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Rakak Dash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who will well towards this truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect and to the great multitude scattered worldwide. Alright, scattered worldwide among the heathens, looking like the heathens, as the elder Malcolm always proclaims, which he is 100% obviously correct to say so. Right? This is addressing these idiots, and you know, and there's a lot of these idiots that go on comment boards talking about how the whole tribe of all the tribes of so-called blacks, or they just say all the tribes are black. Where are you? Where's your teachings, man? Because you're just on the comment board saying that shit, but you're not really showing any evidence as to how that's a fact. Whereas when we get into the scriptures, man, you know, we use the scriptures to prove all things, man. Alright? That's how we do it. We use the scriptures to prove all things, man. You know, we was told, you know, let me just get something real quick. We was taught in the scriptures, man, that this word, you can't mess with this word, man. Alright? That's why anytime someone wants to challenge the truth, not us, the truth, we bring out the scriptures, man. Let me quickly get Luke 21 and 15 as I just said something. Luke 21:15 says, "For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay, nor resist." So you can't gainsay against what we have to say. Why? Because we only use the scriptures as our facts. Okay. So let's get back into what we're going to get into, man. Because the 12 tribes are scattered amongst all nations, man, and they look like the heathens as well. It's not hard to understand that. You know, there's evidence of it in the world. You know, a man has, for Israelite, a so-called black man has, let's say he's from, you know, let's say he's a so-called African American. I'm just going to use these terms to simplify it for anyone that needs that simplification. And he has children with a Japanese woman, an Ammonite woman, right? That doesn't matter. His seed is still his seed. They came from him. You know, we carry the children at the end of the day, and, you know, and there's fertilization with the female, man, with the woman. So, because she carries the egg, one egg, multiple seeds. All right. So we have to understand that it doesn't matter what someone looks like. All that matters is who their father is. Okay. So let's read Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 27, and it says, "And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you." So are they trying to say that every nation where the Lord has scattered us, we still look brown or dark skin? Is that what they're trying to say? You know, the Lord said he's going to gather us from the ends of the earth, man. You know, we'll get out more scriptures anyway, but what I'm trying to make is that when you move around the earth, when men move around the earth and they have, you know, they get women or whatever, and they produce children with these women, man, those children that they produce, no matter where they are in the world, are still of their seed line. That's how the Lord created it. If he didn't create it like that, then our seed line would diminish. It's just obvious. Imagine if we was going around as Israelites, just, you know, planting our seeds, man, you know, as we do anyway amongst all the nations, but we're actually producing the heathens instead. What sort of logic is that? You know, a lot of these Israelites, they don't don't they don't have any logic, man. They just repeat it. They're parrots. They don't actually learn anything. They don't use common knowledge, let alone scriptural knowledge. It says, "And there ye shall serve powers and the works of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear nor eat nor smell." Let's get Deuteronomy 28 as well, just to back that up, man. That's basically what they're saying, is that where we go, where we be scattered, we will start serving other false gods, man. Alright? You know, this is a curse unto us, man. Deuteronomy 28 and 64. It says, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people." All people. Didn't say some. It said all people, man. "From the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other powers, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." And that wood represents Christianity, and that stone represents Islam. "And among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind." And I think they're called the cities, man. There's like some Southeast Indians, right, that get really treated terribly, man. And they are Israelites, man. Every part of the world you go to, you're going to find downtrodden people, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to be Jakes, man. Right, because the curses follow you, and they follow you even when you don't look like one that, typically look like a so-called black person. Right, well, remember, just to reiterate the point, that we are not black. Alright. We're different shades of brown, man. And let's cement it even more. Deuteronomy 30:1, it says, "And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among the nations, whether the Lord Yahweh thy power have driven thee." Meaning what? That's that coming in back into the truth, man. Starting to actually understand that, wow, why are we living like this? And then it draws you to the truth, man. And I'll say this Deuteronomy 28, right, video, there was a video, man, I'm sure a lot of Arkin back in the day watched it. It's hard to find now, for obvious reasons. And it was, you know how you have the Bible being on audio, and this Edomite sounding guy was reading it, but he was reading it emphatically, you know what I mean, with purpose, man. And it sounded so great, and it captured your ear, it caught your ear, you know. And so I started listening to it, and that's what made me understand that this was real, right? So yeah, man, that's when the beginning of it, calling this truth to mind, man. So, it's bringing back, we're being brought back into remembrance, man. We're not being taught something actually that's new. We knew it. We're just being reminded. Verse 2 says, "And it shall return unto the Lord Yahweh thy power, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thine heart and with all thy soul. That then the Lord Yahweh thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all," once again, all the nations, "whither the Lord Yahweh thy power have scattered thee." And it says also, "If any of thine be driven out unto the utmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy power gather thee, from thence will he fetch thee." Right? "And the Lord thy power will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good, and multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Lord thy power will circumcise thine heart, and the heart of thy seed, to love the Lord with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live." Right? And that part is beautiful. Why? It's all beautiful, but that part especially, because that's meaning that we will no longer have to worry about sin or curses. We will be programmed to be righteous, man. And our children, it says, in the heart of thy seed. So we would love him. The Lord is keeping his commandments, is it not? If you love me, keep my commandments, man. So we'll be keeping them, and that will show, we will automatically be righteous, man. It's going to be amazing. And I'll read this. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So it's pretty obvious, man. I'm gonna get some more scriptures, but let's just be real. The reason why these jakes are so intent on talking about black only Israelites, and I use the term black loosely, obviously, it's because they're desperate for an identity. But we have an identity, man. They're just worried. They don't understand that Ephraim and Gad and that, they're our brothers and sisters, man. They went through the same curses as us. They are part of the 12 tribes, right? In fact, I'm gonna hold that one for a second. Let's get this one. Jeremiah 12:9, and it says, mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about her are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. You see that, and that's the beauty of this truth. If the Lord has put the Spirit on you, man, it's getting the understanding. Like, they'll read this and they won't have a clue what it's talking about. But the heritage is Israel, man. And a speckled bird is a bird that has many colours. We can show, let's see if I can find a picture. You might not, oh, that's perfect. Look at that. Only the Most High could do that, man. Look, that's beautiful. I've never even seen that bird before in my life, man. But that's amazing, man. See, there's a perfect example there, man. We could look at the others, even though they're different colours, man. But that's a prime example right there, Where is it? I lost it. Amazing. I'm going to save that. That'll do. But anyway, man, that's just the point right there, man. And it says the birds round about her are against her, man. Psalms 83. So, let's read this. Isaiah 11:11. And it shall come to pass that in that day the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people. The first time was leaving Egypt, actual Mizraim, we shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Paphos and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar, from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. Now I can't remember all the names here, but Cush is, that's an actual Hamite country, man. And Elam is those East Indians, man. So that is enough. If that's not enough to make you understand, I don't know what is. And it says, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations and assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So, let's just stop this, man. Let's stop this, because this this whole narrative you're trying to push, man, is pathetic. You're looking desperate, man. You Jakes are trying to clamour to everything you can possibly clamour to because you're just looking for our identity. And here it is that we have the best identity as Israelites, man, who pertaining the promises and the covenants, man, and the laws and the statutes and the commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. We are His people, but yet you're trying to be everything else. Because you allowed this doctrines of this world and these Edomites to seep into your brains, man. Well, I can say that, but at the end of the day, it's not for you to know. Let's just keep it a buck. It's not for you to know, man. But now you're going as far as to you wanna adjust the scriptures for your own self gratification, man. Let's say it like that. It's corny, man. It's corny. Don't you understand that the same people that you're trying to exclude, they're not just like us, man. The food is similar, the way they eat, the way we move, the oppression, and most of all, the oppression that they have is the same. Listen, man, them Ephraimites and that, they got hung with Jake back in the day, man, just the same. Alright? That's why a lot of them Irish as well got dealt with a certain way, because not all the Irish, we don't say that, but a lot of the Irish are Jakes, man. Listen, there's Edomite scholars that went to that land and I have books on it, but I can't, I'm not going to bring it out now, that give accounts of those people being swarthy, and that word swarthy means dark, right? So let's just have it right, yeah. This is Hosea 7 and 8. It says, Ephraim, he have mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. So that's showing you he is a lighter skin. He is lighter in skin, right? But you're either gonna get it or you're not. It's that simple, man. Let's get this, because this is a good one actually. Let me get Ezekiel 44, because if the Lord's talking about gathering His elect from the four corners, man, and they're coming from what these people might deem as heathen nations, man, they can't be heathens, man. Here we have this. Ezekiel 44:9 says, Thus saith the Lord Jehovah, no stranger uncircumcised in heart nor uncircumcised in flesh shall enter into my sanctuary of any stranger that is among the children of Israel. So no matter where they come from, they're going to be Israelites, man. They're going to be Israelites. It's that simple. Let's the glorious return, man. That sounds beautiful, man. Matthew 24:29 says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. That's talking about these elites, the rulers of this world, man. In the day of the return of Yahushua, it says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man, Yahushua, in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. I'm tired of going over this, but it has to be reiterated, because there's going to be Jake still coming into this thing, and I'll be truthful. I learned that when I came into this truth, I learned that it was Israelites were just brown, dark skin only. I learned that from certain people, man. Right? But the Lord was merciful and put me in the right direction, man. Otherwise I'd be one of them bug outs, man. I probably wouldn't even believe in anything now, because it was a long time ago now, man. I probably would have fallen away because it wasn't the truth. Throughout Yahweh Shami, I was shy for showing me the light, man. John 7:35 says, Then said the Jews among themselves, Whither will he go? Whither will he go? Talking about Yahweh Shai. That we shall not find him. Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Gentiles among the Gentiles, huh? What is a Gentile, man? Let's see what the Strong's is saying on that. Because we know the Gentiles among the Gentiles is talking about us among the heathens, man. Like we are now. We're among the heathens right now. Are we living in our land? No, we're going under other nations, other nationalities, man. If I was to fill out a form, man, I would be British. Black British, man. That's what they want me to put down on it. But I'm not British. I'm an Israelite. It says a Greek either by nationality, whether a native of the mainland or of the Greek islands or of continent. So nationality, right? And it says in a wider sense, the name embraces all nations, not Jews that made the language, customs, and learning of the Greeks their own. In the primary reference is difference of religion and worship. So look, because Hellenization, this is why we need to see if there's one of those Bible dictionaries online, man, because the Hellenization is you living among other nations and living like those people of those nations, man, like assimilation. It's like living in Japan, starting to speak Japanese and eating their food and everything else. You've been Hellenized, and our people have been Hellenized, man. It's just movement. Is freedom of movement, man, has caused, and not just that. Obviously, a captivity with the diaspora and all of that. Not for it hasn't been freedom of movement for us, so to speak. But yeah, man, it's just about we've been everywhere, man, and we've dealt with the women of these nations, man. So let's just cut this crap out. All you're doing is deceiving the people, man. And I'll get one last scripture just to put the nail in these idiots' coffins, man. Revelation 7 and 9. And after this, I want to read something first. I'll read it from 4, but I'm not going to read all this. It says, And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. And it just goes through all the tribes, right? 12,000 of each tribe, right? And after this, verse 9, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds of people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So it just told you that this is the 12,000 from each 12 tribes, right, of the elect, sealed, right, plus a great multitude, right, of all nations, kindreds and people and tongues. So it's telling you, man, all different. When it says tongues, it's different languages, kindreds, nations, man. So for you to sit there and stand up and say, yeah, all Israel dark skin, it's just folly, man. Just cut it out. And if you want to believe that, that's good for you, man. But it's not gonna get you salvation. Either way. Even us talking about, we're just there. We're at the end of the day, we're speaking the truth. But you talk saying that it's just for blacks is ridiculous, man. You know, you should learn your history and learn the actual history of these other people that you're trying to exclude from this truth. You know. So I want to leave it at that, man. I mean, there's so many more scriptures, but what's the point? This is just for edification purposes. Those that need to hear it will hear it, and those that don't want to hear it or aren't meant to hear it won't hear it, man. So with that, you know, Lord, when this is edifying, all praises, honor, and glory go to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect, and blessings also to the great multitude scattered among all nations destined for salvation. For Yahweh Hashem Yahshua put in the spirit of me to do this lesson, and Shalom.